Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another US type reaction. This one is the 15 most beautiful cities in America. I had quite a lot of suggestions for this recently. I've had a lot of sort of people popping up with this specific video. I've done similar videos to this in the past, quite a few to do about the most beautiful states. I've done city type videos, but it wasn't the most beautiful cities. I think it was like the most dangerous cities, the most expensive cities or stuff like that, but never ones that sort of talk about this sort of stuff. I'm 99% sure. Definitely not this video anyway. And I did have a lot of suggestions for it. So, yeah, it's from alux.com. This is the channel with the woman who sounds like she's the most bougie person in the world. It just creeps me out how she speaks. But this was suggested, so I thought I was going to just do the reaction. And here we are with it. And yeah, that's just about it, to be honest.
The 15.
Oh, my days. But yeah, quick shout out to my Instagram, my Twitter, links in the description for those interested. Same for my Patreon, links are all there for those interested. But let's get into this one, man.
Most beautiful cities in America. Welcome to alux.com.
Yeah, she is just really like bougie the way she speaks. America. Wait.
Welcome to alux.com. The place where future billionaires come to get
Just cringes me how she speaks.
inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello Aluxers, welcome back for another exciting
Alux.
video presented by our team here at alux.com. America's known for its diversity and mixture of cultures, and keeping that in mind, you can only imagine the beauty that lies within it. Traveling through America and exploring some of the most beautiful cities in the world is an incredible journey. It's difficult to narrow down these spots to the top 15, but we've compiled such a list for you today. The locations we're featuring here are known for their historic significance, beautiful landmarks, diverse cultural events, breathtaking views, and astonishing architecture. But each city has something a little different than the last. But that's enough with the intro, let's get started. Number 15, Atlanta, Georgia. Located in the
Atlanta,
southeast
Georgia.
state of
Okay.
Georgia, Atlanta is one of the most important landmarks for both the Civil War and the Civil Rights Movement. With gorgeous lines of trees, green hills, and lavish city parks, Atlanta was appropriately named the city in a forest. But there are also
Oh,
numerous
shit.
skyscrapers that
It is
contribute
actually
greatly
really
to the
green,
city's
yeah.
beauty.
God
Atlanta's most famous attractions include World of Coca-Cola, Centennial Olympic Park, and the Atlantic Botanical Gardens. You also shouldn't miss a trip
Oh,
to the
damn.
Stone Mountain
That is
Park,
nice,
where you'll
actually.
have the best view of the city. Number 14,
Nashville,
Tennessee. When it comes to having fun, America has great things to offer, and
How is
Nashville
Nashville
is a
keeping
good
up
example.
after the storms that went on there? Because I mean, they looked brutal. I mean, hopefully people from there are good. And I know the storms went up to other parts of the US as well. What was the damage that ended up coming from that as well? Because I mean, it was crazy just in the clips that I saw. But yeah, I know Nashville looks beautiful here. Hopefully it's back to this sort of state now.
Of this. Can you think of a better place for good music, tasty food,
Look
and
how cultured
good
this
old
looks as
Tennessee
well.
whiskey? From country and blues to rock and pop to jazz and classical, Nashville really has it all.
I love
There's
that building
always
so
something
much.
to do in Nashville, and some of the
walkie-talkie,
best
whatever it is.
barbecue as well as their famous hot
I
chicken.
know it's the Batman. Isn't that the Batman building? Oh,
When you're in the
same.
city, you make sure to visit the legendary Bluebird Cafe for some intimate atmosphere in Nashville's most famous music venue. You can also see an exact replica of Greece's Parthenon in their Centennial Park.
I remember seeing this as well. That's quite
Number 13, Portland, Oregon. If you're up for something more laid back and casual, then Portland is the city for you. You can chill out in a cafe or take a long walk in
Look at
Washington
the
Park in case you're a
Riverside
nature
homes
lover.
as well,
You
mate.
can also visit the famous Japanese garden while you're visiting too. And when the sun starts to set, make sure to
Japanese
grab a
garden.
spot at one of the terrace bars with a view over the Oregon Convention Center with tall, beautifully illuminated towers. Number 12, Bozeman,
Never heard of this place before, but already, god damn, look at the scenery. But I've never heard of this place before, Bozeman,
Montana. Some of the most beautiful landscapes in the country are located right here in Bozeman, Montana. Breathtaking skylines and views from a hill over the whole city are something that many people never forget. Even though it's not your usual go-to place when you want to wander the streets, it's a place where you come to experience nature at its finest. It's the perfect spot for those who love biking and hiking, and Bozeman also has the biggest collection of dinosaur bones located in the Museum of the Rockies. This city has a pleasant
mate.
college vibe, so it's a perfect relaxing getaway.
Come at me, man. Cities with mountain ranges in the background, nothing can top them, man. I can't imagine being in a city, living in a city and just walking out in a street and just seeing mountains in the background. It must be so sort of like, maybe not surreal because people who live there are so used to it, but it just must be incredible to be able to see mountains behind you every single day, obviously when the weather's good or there's not like a big building that's like in front of you or whatever. But mate, that would just be absolute scenes, bro, because like in the UK you don't get anything like this at all. Nothing like this because there's not mountains here. The small area where there is mountains, there's no cities nearby, so it's just like, yeah, I don't get to witness this kind of stuff, but
Number 11.
that's the dream, man, honestly.
St. Augustine, Florida.
Never heard of this place either.
St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest
Oi.
European settlement that's still populated. This beautiful city dates back to 1965 when the Spanish settlers came and established the city. With a strong European vibe, it's impossible not
That
to
is kind
like
of
St.
like-
Augustine.
That is really like sort of like, I feel like it's kind of, well, she said Spanish settlers, didn't she? There is a very Spanish sort of look to this. I remember the only country that I've ever been to is Spain. And I kind of sort of can see the sort of correlation, like the style of the buildings, etc., the colours, the red sort of dominance of the city.
And enjoy its remarkable beauty. Museums such as the Pirate and Treasure Museum, with its large collection of pirate artifacts, and the Leichner Museum, where you can enjoy numerous pieces of art, are only a few of the reasons you'll never forget a trip to St. Augustine.
God damn.
Number 10.
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. This
That
city
is
may not
beautiful.
have all the bells and whistles that some other cities have, but what Houston lacks in quantity, it makes up for in quality. Houston is filled to the brim with incredible street art and murals, giving the city a very unique feel. The streets in Houston are wide and spacious, filled with interesting shops and restaurants. Speaking of which, Houston is also the culinary capital of America, with more restaurants per capita than any other city in America.
Mad.
But most interesting of all, Houston is home to the NASA Space Center. Houston is most certainly one of the more unique hidden gems in America, and suffice it to say, it's by far one of the most beautiful and interesting cities you could possibly visit.
Going to the NASA space station
Number
must
9.
be such a
Virginia
surreal
Beach,
thing to do.
Virginia.
Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach, as the name implies, is full of beautiful beaches where natural beauty abounds. You can also head to First Landing State Park and watch the sunset without a worry in the world.
Look at this
This
view.
just might be the best city for those who desire a romantic atmosphere, with plenty of restaurants to dine in with your loved ones. Also, the Busch Gardens Amusement Park is a great destination if you have some kids along with you and would like to have some quality time with your whole family. Number 8. New
New
Orleans, Louisiana.
New Orleans. I
With
always say
its
New Orleans.
exotic blend
New
of
Orleans.
diverse cultures, New Orleans represents the true meaning of the term melting pot. You can't go wrong with
Yeah,
New
bro.
Orleans and its fantastic French architecture and rich Caribbean flavor. It's home to the famous Mardi Gras Festival, visited by millions of partying tourists each year. Its cuisine is incredible and jam-packed with an array of diverse local ingredients that you can only try here. You can't call yourself a true adventurer unless you've experienced everything New Orleans has to offer. Number 7. Seattle,
Seattle.
Washington. One of the largest cities in the Northwest Pacific region, Seattle boasts one of the fastest growing economies in the United States, and it certainly shows. Its cityscape is littered with beautiful monuments, with its crown jewel being the retro-futuristic Space Needle Tower.
I love
its
this tower
music
so
scene has
much, man.
always been incredibly rich, from the 40s and 50s jazz era
the colours.
all the way up to the modern sounds of grunge in the 1990s. Seattle manages to create a perfect blend of old and new that leaves no visitors unsatisfied. Number 6. Chicago, Illinois. Home to the famous Lincoln Park, Chicago-style hot dogs, and towering skyscrapers, Chicago represents the beating urban heart of America. If you're visiting this windy city on the East Coast, you shouldn't overlook all the attractions it has to offer. Its famous Gothic architecture and busy
that
streets
is a really
will
nice
provide
view,
you with
though.
a true representation of
street
what
view.
urban America is all about. Likewise, near to the turn of the 19th century, Chicago opened its doors to immigrants from all around the globe, which gives this city its incredible diverse demographic, only
wow.
adding to the metropolitan
How busy
feel
this
of
road
this
is.
great city.
Oh my days! Look at this! Look at these fucking highways! Oh mate!
Number 5.
Las Vegas,
Las
here we go.
Vegas,
Of
Nevada.
course.
This oasis in the middle of the Nevada desert certainly lives up to its nickname, Sin City. Home to some of the world's most famous casinos like Caesar's Palace and the Excalibur, as well as some of the most luxurious hotels on Earth, Las Vegas is all about indulging in the senses. An atmosphere of abundance and exuberance radiates throughout the neon-lit streets of the Vegas Strip, the home of most of its hotels, casinos, and nightclubs. It's almost impossible not to find something to enjoy in Las Vegas. For a true hedonist, this little island of indulgence in the middle of the desert is heaven, with just the right amount of hell. Number 4. Boston, Massachusetts. Situated in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Boston is home to some of the most important events in American history, like the Boston Tea Party and the Battle of Bunker Hill. Being one of the oldest cities in America, it's difficult to go down the street without bumping into some little snippet of its glorious past. From its architecture to its monuments, museums, and parks, Boston is a gold mine for anyone looking to satisfy their desire for history and knowledge about where the Great Experiment started. Boston Harbor is also a beautiful sight just beyond the towering skyscrapers. Number 3. New York City, New York. You can't have a list of the most beautiful cities in America without mentioning New York City. The Big Apple is not just one of the most beautiful cities in America, but one of the most beautiful in the world. Its incredible cityscape is unparalleled. From Central Park to the Empire State Building, New York is absolutely packed with some of the world's most breathtaking landmarks. Nightclubs, restaurants, museums, parks, monuments, stadiums, shops.
It is something
New
else,
York
man, honestly.
has it all.
Literally everything.
Number 2.
Charleston,
South Carolina.
Look at this bridge though. Oh my. Look at that. That is the wildest looking bridge. Does it actually have like lights on it that changes its colour?
Restaurants, museums, parks,
I wanna see that
monuments, stadiums, shops. New York has it all. Number 2. Charleston, South Carolina.
Is it changing colour?
Charleston has been named as the number 1 city not
so
only in the
confused.
US, but the entire
is.
world by Travel and Leisure magazine, and there are many reasons for this. Everywhere you turn in the city is another beautiful sight, from the famous Rainbow Row to the iconic Pineapple Fountain and historic marketplace. Charleston is also known as the Holy City because of its many beautiful and historic churches. Make sure to also visit Charleston Harbor and Fort Sumter, where the Civil War began.
That was definitely surprising.
Number 1.
Surprising
Los
one.
Angeles,
Fair enough.
California.
Los Angeles.
Finally, we've reached number 1 on our list. This pick was pretty hard to make, but Los Angeles definitely deserves the number 1 spot. The city of
I mean, in terms of tourists, I feel like a lot of people from Europe is their number 1 place they want to go to in the US is always either LA or New York. That's the majority of people that I sort of know, like people that I know sort of. Everyone just wants to go to LA though. I don't know, it's just one of those things, just to experience it. I don't know if I could live in LA because it's a crazy city. Everything is going on there. But to go there on holiday would be something that, again, a lot of people want to do. So it makes sense as to why it's number 1. But I guess people from the US see this a lot differently. Like, they sort of, people, I guess you guys will say, like, smaller cities that maybe aren't mentioned, smaller villages, smaller just settlements, wherever people live, are so much better than these big cities like LA and New York, etc. But I guess this is just in terms of, like, is this in terms of, like, tourists coming here, or is it in terms of, like, people from the US sort of thinking this about their own country? I'm pretty sure she said it's about tourists, but I guess it's both sort of things.
The place where summer never ends, home to Hollywood as well as most of the entertainment industry that we enjoy today. LA's nightclubs are some of the best in the world, and its beaches are unparalleled in their splendor. The people who live there are diverse and always look to have a good time. Chances are, if you happen to be just strolling down Venice Beach, you might just run into that famous movie star or celebrity you've been gushing over, or that singer whose song you just can't seem to...
What the fuck? God damn. UK is mad, but a day ago it was like 22 degrees and the weather was starting to get nice now. And now it's just hailing outside. The UK is stupid. Just heard a banging on my window. I was like, what the hell's going on?
to get out of your head. In the city of Los Angeles, that's a completely normal occurrence.
Mate, this city-
LA is everything you've ever dreamed about and more, and that's precisely why it was
GTA,
placed number 1 on
GTA.
our list. So, we've come to the end of our 15 most beautiful cities in America. We hope we've inspired your travel plans even just a little bit. Now that we're wrapping up our list, we'd like to know, which city do you think should have been included but was left out? Let us
And as she's saying here, please comment under this video if you're at this point. Again, if you are, thank you, because I don't know if many people have got to this point. But if you have, let me know some cities or towns or whatever. Again, it is a city video, so I don't know why it'd be towns. But just, yeah, cities that maybe that weren't mentioned here that you think I should check out. Los Angeles, California, California, #1. That's hilarious. That's what I mean. It's very subjective, isn't it? I'm definitely going to visit America one day. Beautiful country. Greetings from Germany. Yeah, man. This is making me want to do it even more, honestly. Interesting list. Think Miami, Miami. Denver, San Diego, San Francisco should have been included in this list. There are so many just insane cities in the US, aren't there? After 7 years of living in LA, I could not wait to leave. I guess living there and going there on holiday is two different things, isn't it? To be honest. Okay, there are 4 cities in this list that I would have replaced with Washington DC, San Francisco, Denver, and Honolulu. That's true, actually. I also would have ranked Chicago higher. What the fuck? I can't believe San Diego did not make this list. Hey, look, St. Austin, lol, dates back to 1965. Yeah, I was thinking 1965, but I didn't mention it. I was like, wait, wait, what? But yeah, I guess it was just a mistake. I don't think the US Army would have allowed that. Oh, damn, that's for sure. Chicago is Midwest, my love. Watch this video right now from Seattle, Washington. But yeah, interesting video. I still enjoy this kind of stuff. And like I said, let me know some other cities that you think should have been mentioned here. And yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.